former world champion Billy Dibb, Australian boxing legend, mate. Nikita Tszyu, Michael Zerafa. I mean, what's your reaction to what happened there last night?
Man, I absolutely disgraceful. I can't believe that people were robbed the way they were yesterday. That was absolutely disgraceful. I think Michael Zarafa is a disgrace to Australian boxing. Mate, it's not the first time that he's done it. He always finds a way out, and it's just, mate, very disheartening because I actually thought after stringing a few good wins together that this kid would come out and give it a real go, and I thought he did in the first round, but mate, as soon as the going got tough, mate, he just looked for a place to hide, which was absolutely disgusting. You know, the boxing fans in Australia were robbed, and I just felt like, mate, I wasted my night sitting up waiting for this guy's fight, and this is what he done. Disgraceful.
Were you surprised? I guess, how did you see it? I mean, he said that, he said to Ben Damon after the fight that he didn't say that he couldn't see, but the vision clearly says that he tells the doctor, I can't see. What did you make of that?
Mate, don't worry about that. What he said to the doctor was, I can't see, I can't see, I can't see. Then Chris Condon said to him, you know that this is going to be a no contest now. And he said, no worries. So he acknowledged what the referee said. So everything, the thing that's annoying me the most is that he's lying. Why don't you just tell the truth? Why don't you just say, yes, I did say that I can't see. And then, Chris Condon did tell me, but he changed the story right away. He didn't know what to do anymore. And the lies are coming out, mate. And you know what? People in Australian boxing have had enough. Mate, I just thought it was absolutely disgraceful, and after a long camp, and I sort of sympathise with Nikita because he put in a long camp for this, and you got to sympathise with No Limit as well, who put on a great show, what I mean, fork out a lot of money, and then for that to happen, mate, is just disgraceful. Australian
Mm.
boxing does not deserve that, and you know what, Nikita doesn't deserve it, No Limit doesn't deserve it. It's just not right for Australian boxing in a whole.
Would you what would you think happens to Michael from here? Is that sort of the point of no return for him?
Mate, I'm telling you right now, I actually messaged Michael a few days before the fight telling him, mate, I wish you all the best. I felt like he'd shown a lot of maturity in his recent fights, the way that he dealt with it, the way that he handled it, the way that he got him out of there. And I sort of felt that this kid was in with a good chance, you know what I mean? I felt like, maybe Nikita was biting off a bit more than he could chew. And, mate, I'll tell you what, in the first round, I felt like he was doing something. And then, mate, I don't know what happened to him. He just shut off and Nikita started catching him and he was just looking for a way out. That's just absolutely disgusting, man. I just feel like Michael Zerafa, how do you bounce back from that? There's no bouncing back from that. And I'll tell you right now, if No Limit give him another opportunity, that's just disgraceful. Mate, I just, what, because he's saying, oh, let's run it back again. Of course you want to run that back again. You want to get some more money, you know what I mean? You want to rob the public of their hard-earned cash. Circumstances in Australia these days are not as good as it seems. You know what I mean? A lot of people are doing it tough. So when people are forking out $5,000 and $6,000 to travel, to get on a plane, to book a hotel, to buy a ticket to the fight, and then you do that to them, mate, it's just disgraceful. Disgusting.
How do you look at it? Like, Tim Tszyu in that first Fondora fight, he fought with the gash and the blood. Jai McAllister, he fought with a broken jaw for 10 rounds. When you look at those sort of guys, it's hard for anyone to sort of defend what Michael did last night.
Listen, man, boxing is a game of adversity. You're going to go through adversity in that fight. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in a fight, you might win the first round, the second round, things get tough in the third, you get knocked down in the fourth, you know what I mean? You got to rally on. You got to find a way. And that's what's so beautiful about boxing, because a lot of guys find a way. I'll tell you a great fight where things were going really wrong for the fighter and he turned it right around was Castillo versus Corrales. Corrales was getting destroyed. And then right in the last round, he turns it right around. You know what I mean? And he gets a knockout victory. So, you just got to hang in there, mate. And, like Tim hung in there with Fendora in that first fight. In the second fight, because I posted a few things up and people saying, oh, Tim quit in the second fight. Well, let me tell you, yeah, he may have quit, but that was after taking a lot of damage. You know what I mean? It took a beat down for him to do that. He didn't just sit on a stool and say, oh, no, No, he took a beat down. He was getting beat down for 6 rounds or whatever it was, and then just sat on the stool and said, I can't take it anymore. And that's okay. But to do what you did and say, I can't see, but you can see, you know what I mean? And then he started backpedaling and going back on what he was saying. Man, I'm really disappointed in Michael because he's making a habit of quitting. And let me tell you something about quitters. You quit once, you'll quit again. You know, he quit that show with SAS. He's quit, you know, he quit against Lara. And the guy's just making a habit of quitting now and robbing people of their hard-earned cash.
Mm. Just on the fight, you know, Michael did have some success in the first round there. Do you think Nikita sort of imposed something in round two that Michael felt? How did you actually see the fight play out?
Well, mate, when the fight started off, I thought Michael was. I said, yeah, Mike's won that first round. You know, what I mean, comfortably. But then Nikita's just adjusted and basically turned into a mongrel in the next round and started roughing him up. And you know, of course, he's going to use his head and he's going to rush him and he's going to do things. And Michael felt uncomfortable. And the minute the referee, and you know what, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm really, really upset with Chris Condon because I don't think that he should have taken him over to the doctor after that second round. There was no need. There was no blood coming out. It was the corner closed it up. It looked tidy. There was no need to take him to the doctor. By taking him to the doctor, he gave an opportunity to get out. He didn't have, in that moment, it's not like his face was gushing down blood. There was nothing, no blood, nothing to be seen. All he had to do was let the fight go on and off you go, you know what I mean? But instead, he takes him to the corner. The doctor gets up. Michael says, I can't see, I can't see, I can't see. Mate, what are you talking about? You're looking at the guy clear as day. Stevie Wonder's blind and he can see that you're lying. Are you joking?
Mm, mm. Last one for you. You know, does he retire, Michael's right? Will any promoter touch him? You've been around
Mate,
boxing a long time. Will anyone touch him now?
let me tell you something right now. That man is on the blacklist right now. He is so blacklisted at the moment. Like, you know, he's lucky that No Limit were working with him because after his performance against Lara, you know what I mean, and he can make up a lot of excuses about that, but you know, I sort of feel like he just checked out in that fight. You know what I mean? Even though Lara is a great fighter, but still, mate, you know, this is a young guy who was given an opportunity and just checked out. I don't see how anybody else is going to give him another chance. America ain't going to give him a chance. Let me tell you something right now. After the way Paulie Malignaggi and Sean Porter have rubbished him, nobody in America is going to give this guy an opportunity. Whether he's rated, whatever he's rated, he might end up in Germany or one of these countries over there trying to do something. But I don't know. If No Limit give him the opportunity, mate, the guy's a liability.
Mm, mm,
There's 100% chance that he'll do it again.
mm,
You know what I mean?
mm,
And I can understand the frustration of Nikita, and I can understand the frustration of Tim. Mate, I'm a spectator. I wasn't at the event. I was watching it at home, and I was frustrated. I was so angry.
mm,
Like, how could you do that to the Australian public, mate? You go out on your shield, you know what I mean? And he wants to
mm.
talk about Costa Tszyu quit on a stool against Ricky Hatton. Are you joking, mate? Ricky Hatton and Costa Tszyu were in a war. They were involved in a war. Back and forth trading bombs, mate. And you want to compare yourself to somebody like Costa Tszyu, mate, wake up to yourself. Wake up.
Mm, mm. All right. Thanks so much, Billy. Always appreciate your time, mate. Always appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.